Hi there. Thanks for giving us a listen and welcome to the introduction to the Decapolis podcast. I'm Chris Kilby and I just want to give you a bit of a feel for some of the things that we're hoping to do with this podcast so that you can decide whether it's something that you want to catch up with regularly. Today, I'm really just introducing things, but in the future, we'll have interviews and stories of our adventures together, catching up with people all over the world who are part of the Decapolis story. Today, I would like to just answer two quick questions that I think you might be asking. Firstly, what is Decapolis? And secondly, why might you want to come back and listen to the first episode? So, what is Decapolis? Well, it's a Greek word and it means 10 cities. And perhaps the most famous Decapolis was the group of 10 Greek cities in the Roman period east of the Sea of Galilee, where Jesus ministered to people and performed miracles. So Decapolis has got something to do with cities and something to do with Jesus. Now, the Decapolis I'm talking about here is both a story and a vision. It's a story of how God has led us over recent years and also how he's paving a way for something really exciting in the future. The adventure for me probably started back in about 2007. We'd been building a team in order to relocate and plant a new church in Southampton in the south of the UK. And we were busy doing that, and two key things happened. Firstly, I was at a New Frontiers prayer and fasting event with about 700 other leaders, mostly from across the UK. And on the second day, in one of the final sessions, when, to be honest, I was quite tired and I was quite hungry, we began praying for the nations. And some maps were put on the screen. And as the map of Italy appeared, I tangibly felt the Holy Spirit come upon me, and I began to pray with a different energy, with a different zeal, with a different passion. And God put something in me in those moments. I just knew it was important. And around about the same time, something else was happening. I began to receive a few very clear and direct prophetic words from people whose prophetic gift I trusted. And they spoke of us having some kind of harvest in Catholic Southern Europe. Now, at the time, we had no real connections other than some friends who were leading and planting churches in Portugal. So I began to get a bit involved with them and also helped one church in the south of Italy to get connected to the New Frontiers family. Other than that, I just kept the prophetic things in my heart and got on with the job of planting and building a church in Southampton and raising leaders for the future. Then, as time passed and we were into the years of the pandemic, I really felt the Lord urging me to pray again for Italy. So, since then, Decapolis has become something about cities, something about Jesus, and something about Italy. And after a few years of praying, we've built some friendships with one or two churches in Italy. And so we plan to have a gathering in the Rome area and invited those we were connecting with. And we called this gathering Insieme, which is Italian for together. We've now gathered in that way for a good number of years. And each time we gather, the work grows and the friendships deepen. Um, Now, in 2024, after I'd spent some time with some of the churches in Italy, I was just praying and I was just asking God what the plan was, really. And I very clearly heard him say, "Ask me for 10 cities." So that kind of became my prayer at that time, praying for God to open a door for us to plant and help and strengthen churches in 10 cities in Italy. And then about a week later came the prophetic word that sealed the deal, a clear and direct prophecy from someone who knew nothing about our story and who came to me and said, "God has given me the word Decapolis. Does that mean anything to you?" So Decapolis has become a vision and a story about cities, about Jesus, about Italy, and about us. We feel like we're being caught up in God's story, God's plan to reach people and see the gospel extend all over the world. And it's super exciting. So, having listened to my explanation of what Decapolis is, I just want to urge you to come and join us so that you can keep up to speed with all things Decapolis. We're going to be having some amazing interviews with pioneers who'll be sharing their stories. Sometimes it'll be in English, other times in Italian, or both. So be prepared for some linguistic gymnastics. We'll be sharing up-to-date news and stories from the front line of mission in Italy. So by coming and joining and listening into the podcast, you'll be able to be the first to hear what is happening. And we're also going to be inviting you to join us in praying for the work to continue and to grow. You know, you could be a key part of this story in the years ahead. We don't just want you to listen, we want you to be involved with us. So look us up, Decapolis, on Facebook and on Instagram. Like us and follow us, and keep your eyes open for the first full episode of the Decapolis podcast. Thanks for listening, and you'll hear from us again soon.